From 1994 to 2004, we had an assault weapon ban, and guess what it did? Absolutely nothing. The National Institute of Justice literally found there was no discernible reduction in the lethality and injuriousness of gun violence. Hell, there were 16 mass shootings while the assault weapon ban was in effect. For crying out loud, the Columbine High School massacre happened during the assault weapons ban. The law wasn't flawed, Bloomberg. It was stupid. We have over 20 million AR-15s in this country. You think you're gonna make 20 million guns disappear just because you passed a law? Not to mention AR-15s, which are not an assault weapon, mind you, make up less than 1% of gun deaths in this country? The law did nothing then and it'll do nothing now. A blind monkey can see that.
Man from the city trying to take my rifle. But there's something that he needs to understand. Second Amendment's only second to the Bible. He'll have to pull it out of my dead hands. Yeah, he can have opinions. I don't have to agree with them.
These assault weapons, weapons of war, they are potential instruments of terror.
We need a renewed assault weapons ban.
Ban the sale and distribution of assault weapons.
I'm also the only guy that got assault weapons banned.
And a renewal of the assault weapons ban.
Has endorsed forcible gun seizures, so has Elizabeth Warren.
The idea that we don't have elimination of assault-type weapons, magazines that can hold multiple bullets in them, is absolutely mindless.
Yes, mindless. That's the perfect word for what you described.
Attorney General Bob Ferguson does not just want tougher rules for guns, but for ammo too. King 5's Jessica Chandler Castro is here to explain for us. And Jessica, Ferguson also has a warning for our state, right?
Joyce and Mark, he said there will be more mass shooting tragedies right here unless something is done. Ferguson touted 3 efforts to try and prevent that, including a new one that goes beyond firearms.
If we do not take action, additional mass shootings will occur here. That is inevitable.
First, Congress should pass the Fixed Gun Checks Act, which would close the private sale loophole that allows more than 40% of gun sales to go through without a background check. Second, it is time to pass an enforceable and effective assault weapons ban, one that isn't riddled with loopholes and easy evasion. A previous ban expired in 2004, and even though President Bush supported reinstating it, Congress never acted. That must change. Congress should also ban the high-capacity magazines that have been used again and again in these mass shootings. These weapons and ammunition can be used to kill large numbers of people quickly, and regulating them certainly falls within the bounds of the Second Amendment. And third, the President and Congress should work together to make gun trafficking a felony. We here urge the President to include all 3 of these steps in any legislative package he sends to Congress.
Mr. President, members of Congress, you've been making a lot of noise about taking our guns away. But you might want to review history. 1835, Gonzalez, Texas Territory. The authorities wanted to confiscate the big gun that protected that colony. You know what the people said? Come and take it. Because they were willing to fight for their freedom and their guns. So are we.
Come and take it if you want it. Come and take it if you think you can. Come and take it.
Clear message to Beto O'Rourke and every other Democrat that's trying to come after our guns. It's not happening. Not in this country. Right? Free people have a right to be able to defend themselves. And Beto was recently in Virginia telling people that he was going to confiscate our firearms. Well, I can tell Beto right now, if you want to try to confiscate some firearms, next time you're in the Commonwealth of Virginia, come by my house and give it a shot. Because I guarantee you that's not going to go down the way you think it will.
I will be at every lobby day.
And I'm not going to let Northam take away my Second Amendment rights. It's not going to happen.
I assure you that we will fight back and we will never let that happen.
I'll be damned if any legislator is going to tell me what I can use to defend my family.
The assault weapons ban.
Yep.
We had one in this country for 10 years. Every single weapon used by the shooter in Connecticut would have been okay under the old assault weapons law. They were all exceptions.
Yeah, okay, so the law was flawed. Fix it.
Look at his face when she hits the cold hard fact that the assault weapon ban would have done nothing to stop the Connecticut shooting. Bloomberg exploited the tragedy of the Connecticut shooting to justify reinstating the assault weapons ban. He wasn't the only one either. They all did it. From 1994 to 2004, we had an assault weapon ban, and guess what it did? Absolutely nothing. The National Institute of Justice literally found there was no discernible.
Isn't it pretty hard to define what is an assault weapon? Because it's so easy to write around for manufacturers to create weapons that.
Well, if it can fire a lot of bullets very quickly, that's a good place to start.
The man who has dedicated his life and campaign to ban assault weapons, spend millions on organizations to ban assault weapons, spend millions on politicians to ban assault weapons, spend millions on advertisements to ban assault weapons, spend millions on biased research and polls to ban assault weapons. But when asked to define what an assault weapon is, he says,
well, if it can fire a lot of bullets very quickly, that's a good place to start.
$10 million spent on one anti-gun ad, and this lunatic can't even define what it is he wants to ban. This is insane.
All right, okay.